and hopefully no more difficulties.
Yeah, everything's going to be perfect.
All right. I think we're live. Let's let me test this out on my Facebook. Yes, we are. Excellent. Cool. All right, you guys. Hey, everyone. This is Eric Su with Next Gen MLM Hacks Radio. Thank you so much for joining me today and my special guest, Steve Krivda. And I wanted to have him just briefly share with you all a little bit about himself, and then we'll dive right into the episode.
Awesome. Well, first off, thank you for having me out here, Eric. It's an absolute honor, of course, and I'm grateful that you asked me. This is it's a lot of fun. You know, these are really great things. You have a really cool show going, and listen to some of your podcasts. They're awesome, man. So congratulations on where you're going now.
Thanks.
Absolutely. So you give me 30 seconds. So
up to a minute.
Yeah, right on, man. So, you know, like most people, you know, I had a work background. I've had a job since I was 14 years old. That was back when you were allowed to work when you were 14. Nice. And, you know, I don't mind working. I don't say anything negative about jobs at all. I just, you know, about 7 or 8 years ago, I came into the industry back in 2006, just honestly because my friends were doing it. And my wife and I had just gotten married and we were looking for other people to hang out with. And well, they seemed very positive and uplifting. So that's kind of how we got into the industry. We had some success. I would say it's more ignorance on fire than anything else. Nobody told me that it wouldn't work. Nobody said all these negative things about it. And I was just like, cool, everybody should know about this. So that's kind of how it started. And then through different economy issues that we ran into financially, we pulled back, focused in on her dad's concrete masonry company, which I was there for 12 years up until 2015. And I just remember sitting there one day, just unhappy. And it wasn't because I didn't love my job. My father-in-law is like my best friend. I worked with Danielle. We had a great working relationship. I realized that, and this kind of goes into what you were asking me earlier, my passion around why I love network marketing so much is the level of impact that you can have in somebody's life just by sharing an opportunity, which is amazing. And I love the realm of possibilities that it's created here. So I realized that just by sharing this, having conversations and speaking life into people, that that's where my mission needed to be. And network marketing was a really great home. I love everything about it. The good, bad, ugly. I love all of it because it makes what makes us very, very unique and what creates this profession. So, you know, I don't know how far you want me to go into this, but that's kind of how it started. Yeah. You know, it's not like I hated my job. I knew that my purpose, just like probably whoever's listening right now, they know they have a purpose. Right. My purpose was bigger than sitting at a desk, even though I want him to be incredibly successful. My level of impact on the world was very limited to, you know, where I was.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to get into a lot of the network marketing, online, offline stuff and how it works and so forth. If you could share with us, you know, what is one of your biggest aha moments with network marketing? So you can kind of dive into a little bit more of where you were coming from.
As far as the aha moments that
made you like, yeah, this is it. This is the one. This is where I want to spend my time, help others, and this is what I want to do.
Yeah. I had a conversation with, and now I call her like my sister now. I had a conversation with a young lady probably 5-6 years ago, and she was so grateful for the introduction that I had given her. I just like I do with everybody else. It was the introduction to the industry, and it led to a lot of incredibly deep conversations between each other. And she's like, I just want to let you know that you changed my life. And I said, okay, this is it. You know, I'm an incredibly faithful person. I believe that, you know, that's basically everything that I am is my faith. And then everything branches out from there. And I don't know how much your listeners would get value from that part, but it's, it led somebody that was agnostic to somebody to go to church, which is part of a big mission of mine. And when she told me that, I just sat there and just in tears. And I said, I need to make this shift. That was a huge aha moment. And, you know, not just the financial aspect or the financial freedom. We talk about that a lot. It's that my life has been changed by this profession.
Yeah,
So
I think that's going to inspire a lot of people to take a look at what they're doing
mhm,
and how they're impacting the world, if you will. So that's great. That's awesome.
yeah.
Let's maybe shift a little bit and dive into this topic of how to succeed with network marketing online and offline. And maybe you could share with us a little bit of what you're doing online right now.
Okay, yeah, sure. So I think I can give you 10 seconds of what I used to do.
Yeah.
That was putting my link all over the place. Somebody
Yeah.
would say hi, and I'd be like, "Oh, do you know about this company?"
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, what I've been working on actually for several years now is branding myself as a certain type of a person, and it's not being fake or somebody that you wish you would be. It's living yourself. It's creating yourself and putting yourself out there, and the whole thing around internet marketing and online marketing, social media marketing, it's all around putting out value. It's putting out value to your ideal person. And that's I think that's probably one of the most important things is finding your target market who you want to speak to and work with.
Right. And we can identify value as what specifically though for you.
Sure. Oh, for me,
Yeah.
it's shifted quite a bit over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it was, I wanted to show people what was possible through this profession and change that thought process for people looking on the outside looking in,
Right.
thinking that a network marketer is a certain type of a person. I don't know people like that. I don't know that negative part of because of the people that I hang out with. So I wanted to shift that thought process around closing and prospecting and handling objections. I wanted to help people understand that it's not convincing somebody. Like the people on the outside think, well, I'm getting hammered by my friend. Well,
Mm.
it's just because they just didn't know what they were doing. That's all. That's all it was.
Right.
And when we shift that thought process on there, we can actually bring that on social media. And that's so the value that you're asking me, that's the value that I was creating
Yeah.
on just an ethical, high integrity way of marketing.
Right. Absolutely. A lot of people that I've been speaking with, they create value with free content. Obviously, that's the best way
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What could you tell somebody who's like, well, what content should I, talk about?
Right, and it depends, if they're in an MLM or a network marketing company, or if they're or affiliate marketing,
Hmm.
or if they're in coaching.
Network marketing specifically. Hmm.
Okay, so network marketing. So with a network marketing company.
Right.
Okay, cool. So I've been in different aspects of the industry.
Right. Right.
But
Right. Right.
one of the simplest ones to use as an example is health and wellness. So, if you're talking with people, or say you're in a weight loss company and you're having that conversation, however, you're out eating cheeseburgers and French fries and drinking beer all the time, you're kind of a walking hypocrisy.
Right.
So
Right.
you got to be cautious on that. So when you're giving value around that arena, it is high inspiration. Making people feel good about themselves. They say that it's how you make the person feel when they walk away from you is how they're going to remember you. So have your page uplifting. It's happy. It's not this. It's staying away from all the negative stuff and really making people or showing people how they can feel good about themselves, and then integrating your health and wellness ideas and your philosophies and how you're moving the person towards having a happier, healthier life.
Right. Absolutely. And I want to say that you have a great process in bringing someone in to build that relationship, and then kind of not so much closing them, but helping them get on board. Is that
Right.
kind of the three steps, if you will?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you share with a little bit about your process?
Sure. So this might be more than a minute.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
So when I spend a lot of time being very present with the person, it's not, I ask a lot of questions. So there's different ways you can generate leads. Sometimes my leads come from friend requests. Sometimes they come out because I see somebody posting something on social media. And sometimes I just go into a Facebook group because I want to talk to somebody that day. It comes from all over the place. Or if I'm just generating a lead from a piece of content that I put out there and if somebody filled in my capture page, they come from all over the place, but they're all essentially the same thing. I'm introducing myself, being a friend. I equate it to if you're at a party and you see somebody you don't know, you don't walk up and be like, "Hi, my name is Steve Krivda. I'm an internet marketer. You want to see my link?" It's not if we treat people like human beings, and just be genuinely interested in that person. So I will ask general questions, so I see you're over in North Carolina, how long have you lived there? That's awesome. And I care about the people. And instead of making it an interrogation process, I'm fishing for information on how I can serve them with some sort of value that I have, whether it's a piece of content, whether it's just that conversation or my service product or opportunity.
Yeah.
Once I hear it, I'll say, all right, you know what? So health and wellness again. So if I'm having a conversation, I'll say, I used to be 255 pounds. Now I'm usually around 180. And they say, well, wow, that's interesting. How did you do that? And I'll just say, it's probably easier if we jump on the phone and have a conversation. So I take them through the process. I'm like, look, I can totally show you how this process can work in your life if that's something you're open to. Mm-hmm. So it's not necessarily here's my link, pitch, like a commercial. It's more of listening and being present and asking enough questions where I know that I can serve them with what I have. And if they say, yeah, that sounds great, I'm like, great. So I either have them look at the information while I'm on the phone with them, or I'm very appointment oriented. So if it's 11:52 a.m. right now in Florida, I would say, all right, so this is about 20 minutes of information. How soon can you look at this? Because I'm looking for now. Right. They say now, I say, great. I'll give you an extra 5 or 10 minutes. I'll call you at 12:30. Right. And that's pretty much it. I just want to see if it's going to be a fit for them. That's all.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of newer, I want to say, not just ignorant, but newer people in the industry who may just go right to the sales pitch, right? And that's unfortunate, right? Or that's maybe their mentality of how to do the business. It's kind of unfortunate, right?
Yeah, it's common, but it's like I think it's more of a lack of education of understanding how to market.
Yeah. So when you are trying to get leads, you had mentioned getting leads. Is there a process you go through?
Yeah. Now, when you say a process of generating leads, like what sort of, are you talking about, like a capture page lead or somebody else?
Something like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
Perfect.
I mean, are we just going to friend people online? Is there a kind of a method to the madness?
I'll give you several easy ones, especially for somebody that's just starting out.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to use health and wellness as an example, because you can put it anywhere. I just want to stay with a common theme.
Yep.
So say that you have a health and wellness company, and most people will go out and just prospect the daylights out of people, which I'm nothing wrong with that. It works. You just got to talk to a lot more people. However, if you're creating a realm around yourself, and if you want to put the extra effort forth, what is the benefit of what your product is? So most people, it's weight loss. And then what are the benefits of those benefits? So you have weight loss, obviously, losing weight, but the benefit of that is looking better, feeling better, people noticing you, having more confidence, so you can actually put, you can actually create maybe a PDF. And when I say creating a PDF, it's actually as simple as opening up a Word document, putting 5 or 6, tips in there around your title, and using that to give to people. So one of the things could be, 5 ways to live a healthier, wealthier life. How many people would raise their hand for that? That person actually is perfect for your health and wellness company, because, the whole realm is, if you feel better, you are better. Right. So there's that aspect of it. So you can do that, and you can just put it out. You can do a Facebook Live. Mm-hmm. And talk about there's so many different things you can do. Like you can even do like a Facebook Live series around recipes, around getting up and exercising or walking, all that kind of stuff, and say, oh, by the way, guys, I just put together this 5-step PDF on living a healthier, wealthier life. Right. So there's one way to do it.
Yeah. I was going to say that all those examples you just shared, or if that's one, but there were many little things there, are really great, because it establishes someone as the expert, right? And some people are kind of afraid of being that expert or saying they are an expert, just because they may not have the letters behind their names, they may not have finished school, they may not have whatever, right? Come up with all these excuses. But I've heard many people say in the past that an expert is someone who's just 1 step or 2 steps ahead of someone. And they know something more than someone else, right?
Yeah. Exactly. I love that. In fact, I was just getting ready to say that. I'm glad that you mentioned that because it's so important.
Yeah.
Being the authority, the expert, you don't I mean, you don't need to be a doctor. You don't have to be a nutritionist or anything like that. You're not telling the person what to do. You're just giving them advice.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
two completely different things. What's working for me may work for you too.
Right. But we're not going to play doctor. We're not going to play all these roles out of our scope of, if you will, abilities. But we are sharing information and knowledge, right? And experiences. Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because how much stuff is out on the internet that people have put together? It's like, man, that's a really great idea. I think I'm going to use that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have an 8-year doctorate in marketing.
Sure. Absolutely. Somebody who's listening to this and they are new and they're like, okay, so you said some PDFs. I'm like, okay, you said create a Word and save it as a PDF. And then it's like, okay, where do I put it? Right? Do I use a Facebook page? Maybe software wise, do I use a website?
Yeah, you can upload it right to Dropbox.
Okay.
Free.
Yeah, absolutely. And so there's a lot of other techniques, tactics and whatnot to attract prospects, right? And so it may be in another episode, but for sure that is definitely some great tips as well as steps for people to get started, I believe.
So
yeah,
I'm going to give one more quick one because I think this is actually easier. It's easier than the other one, which was really, really easy. Is that whatever your target market is, I'll just be fast here and be brief, is, there are Facebook groups for everything. So become a member of the Facebook group, not for pitching or prospecting, but providing value and start creating relationships with people. And what happens is when if you're like people get welcomed into the groups, you welcome them. You can actually send them a message, say, hey, I saw that you just joined X so-and-so group. I just wanted to welcome you to the community. And that's it. And that's how you can start that conversation because you automatically become the authority in that group, even if you're 3 days in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the way that Facebook works right now, how your posts, any posts are seen by so limited people, I think it is now. The reach is not so great. So groups is where a lot of the action is now. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
And
absolutely. Yeah.
That's the way to do it. Awesome. We touched on a few things with regards to meeting someone and not throwing up on them, doing some stuff in person, belly to belly, offline stuff. Is there more to it that you could share with us briefly real quick, and then we'll wrap up?
Yeah, sure. When I first started this whole journey, and I still am, by the way, I'm naturally an introvert. I like just chilling out at home and, being quiet. I'm very much a quiet person. So, what I'm going to tell you now is something that anybody can do this. So what I had to do was understand not necessarily human behavior, but relationship building. If you take a look at the relationship that you have with your spouse or your friends, what does that look like? And why are you comfortable around each other? And it's mostly because you have things in common. So the biggest piece of information, especially if you're using social media, is be that person. Because what's going to happen here is this: not everybody's going to like you. That was a hard one for me I'm like, man, I'm so likable. Why isn't it? It's not about having everybody like you. It's having the right person be attracted to you. So just be yourself. And if you're being yourself and you take the mask off and you let that true you shine through, people are going to be attracted to you. And not maybe in that way too, but in business wise, they're going to want to be around you. And if you're putting out value, whether it's you're an affiliate marketer or health and wellness or just straight and whatever it is, and you're putting out value in that way, you're going to attract a certain group of people. So if you have 5,000 friends and you're maxed out on Facebook, you might only get 100 or 500 people that really dig you out of all those people. And that's perfectly fine. Because what's going to happen is those 100 to 500 people are going to, that is actually becomes you're building a culture around yourself.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And whenever I meet someone, or whenever, I'm sure when you meet with someone, it's a very opening and welcoming type of conversation versus just throwing up on them, trying to convince them to do anything or take a look at something, I think, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, that process in the beginning for the first 3 to 7 days, it's going to feel slow because
Yeah.
you want immediate results. But
Yeah.
man, if you spend a day just talking to somebody and then you come back to them, a week later, say, hey, I'm sorry, we left that conversation here. What do you do for a living if you don't mind me asking? And now you can segue right into, do they even need what you have?
Right. Exactly. You don't want to burn your bridge on day one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good. Steve, this was really great. And time flies when we're having fun, right?
Wow.
I know you have a lot of things going on. You've got an awesome coaching program. Can you share with us a little bit more about that?
Sure. I think, excuse me, I think one of the biggest issues that most, well, I'll speak for myself. One of the biggest issues that I ran into is I knew everything to do. I knew how to prospect. I knew how to pick up the phone. I had scripts everywhere. I was like, I had them painted, or I'm sorry, taped on my desk and all over my walls. So I knew exactly what to say, but I just wasn't taking the action. And so I actually have spent a lot of time moving in that direction of just getting unstuck and really understanding, it's not necessarily um, what you're doing or how to do it. It's why you're not doing it. And that's where I spend a lot of my time with people is unblocking those blocks, because there's a whole realm of possibilities out there. And I live in that realm of possibility that anything you want in your life is possible. You just got to figure out what's going on. How do you get there? Who do you need to become? And, as we grow up and things happen, we start building these walls that block that view of that realm. And what I do when I work with people, I knock those walls down so you can actually see that realm of possibility and make it possible for you too.
Very good. Excellent. And there's a whole website. If you want to share with us that'd be great.
Oh yeah, sure. It's called unlockingyourinnergreatness.com.
Awesome. We'll make sure we'll put that in the show notes. Do you have one last tip or anything like that you want to share with us before we go? Something you forgot or anything?
Yeah, totally. One of the things that we have as especially as network marketers is we see people creating this massive amount of success. What I recommend is this: the person that you want, that you see, that you have, whatever level of success that you have, whatever level of believable success is for you, because it could be in the beginning, $1,000 a month. That's perfectly fine. That's where I was. Find the person that you jive with the most, the person that you resonate with, and not necessarily the person who's going, come on out there and crush it. If that's not your personality, follow somebody that is your personality. Call them, reach out to them, have a conversation with them, find out what they're doing. And I can guarantee you this, it is a step-by-step process. Listen to them, be coachable. And if they're talking to you about something, you're like, what does this even matter? It matters because they're talking to you about it. So just be incredibly coachable, teachable, and find somebody that you resonate with, follow that person and do exactly what they did, because the most successful people in the world, they follow the ones that have what they want. They follow, if you want to say, they follow the rich or the wealthy or the abundant, and they do what they do. Yeah. And that's how people become incredibly successful.
Yeah, absolutely. What you just said there was like the $1 million advice. I was listening to this podcast about this one guy, and he's a fitness trainer, and he was actually on Shark Tank. And what happened was that he actually got a deal with Damon Johns, the one guy. And what was funny was that he described this relationship as a awkward but very powerful. And what he said was he would go and ask Damon John for some advice, and he would only spend 2 minutes with him and say a few words, and that was it. That was the relationship. But he had to be open-minded to the advice and teachable, because there was no more wishy-washy thinking, because whatever this guy Damon John said was what he had to do, and that was it. And so that's exactly what I think you're saying.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And by the way, the guy created a product, created a lot of things, and made a lot of money. So anyhow,
awesome.
That's it.
I can tell you this: my very first coach, he was the most amount of money that I've ever spent besides my house and my car. And I came in with a mindset of, well, I'll just leave you that I wasn't very coachable. It wasn't, I don't ever think there's anything that's a waste of time ever, because everything's, you learn something. I learned a very valuable lesson from that. And my very next coach, I came in with a different mindset, and that's when things started really shifting.
Yeah.
It's just, we don't know everything. I don't care who you are. Just be
Yeah.
open-minded. You might hear one thing that takes you from $100 a month to $10,000 a month.
Right. Absolutely. So good. Do you want people to reach out to you on Facebook? Do you want people to reach out to you through the website? What's the best way for people to reach you?
Right on my website at the top, that's where my Facebook link is. So they can reach out to me right there.
Awesome. Perfect.
That's the easiest one.
So fun. Thanks, Steve, for being open to this. Thank you so much. I know a lot of people are going to get a lot of value from this. So thank you so much.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And the people that are listening right now, reach out to Eric, man. We had a really great conversation. He knows what he's talking about. You got to talk to this guy, pick his brain, man. He'll take you to wherever you want to go.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Steve. Have a great day.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate you. Thank you.